Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show. And today we're just talking about what I hope to see in the near future in regards to gaming, in regards to the Activision Blizzard deal. This I'm hoping ends soon because obviously I have been avoiding talking about it. The only time I do tend to talk about the ABK deal is when there's actual, very important updates. Now, recently, the CMA has, essentially said that, yeah, upon further investigation, we deem that this acquisition doesn't really affect competition in any, meaningful negative way. So that's a big deal. That's telling, me, other countries that have these federal trade commissions or whatever have you, that essentially, yeah, maybe it's time to just pass this already. I feel as though this is a big, this is a big dub for Microsoft. At least that's how I see it. I think that overall, the conclusion will be that Microsoft will indeed acquire Activision Blizzard King. I do think that that's the case. We don't know. Nothing's necessarily finalized. They still have to do other investigations for other sorts of things, especially in regards to cloud gaming. But I have a feeling that the FTC wouldn't have, decided on this if they felt as though it wasn't going to go through eventually upon, their investigating. But overall, I'm really hoping that once this is all said and done, once likely Microsoft acquires Activision Blizzard, that this will encourage Microsoft and PlayStation and Sony to finally compete again. Because for the longest time, I felt like Microsoft was using Game Pass to not compete with Sony, to coexist and not have to directly compete. And Sony has, for the longest, felt as though Microsoft isn't really a competitor because they don't compete. They're, bad competition overall. The worst, actually. Microsoft has not been able to hold a candle to Sony last generation. They were absolute atrocious competition. Sony stomped them out with relative ease, arguably even before last gen even started. Microsoft kind of killed themselves, really, it could be argued. So with that, we saw competitive Sony last generation because, well, Sony had to compete with the PS3 generation and what they chose to do and how they kind of messed up on many facets. And they gained a lot of ground with the PS4. But then with the PS5, they've become completely stagnant. I have never been so bored in gaming, and I used to be a primary PS4 gamer back last gen. And, at this point, I guess I kind of consider myself, a PC gamer. At least that's what the community, the corner of the community has put me into in order to make me kind of, I guess, a villain or whatever. Because people just have problems with me just because, I call out the fanboy bullshit. And so it's like, hey, if you want to make me out to be a villain, I'll just own it. I'll just own it and stomp you out in the process, because that's really what it is. I don't play the fanboy nonsense. I have a PC because, well, I want all the games. I want access to everything. And PC is indeed the only everything box that exists right now. And I think that a lot of PlayStation dudes was hoping that, PlayStation would essentially be that everything box. Well, that's not the case. You're not going to have that. And clearly, Microsoft, with Xbox, with acquiring Activision Blizzard, is telling you, no, you're not going to get everything that you want. There is competition here. Microsoft hasn't competed last generation, and now they're saying we're going to compete the best way we know how. And that is through acquisition. Now, do I like acquisitions? Not really. I don't want consolidation to happen, but I do think that this particular acquisition, with taking Call of Duty specifically away from Sony, I think it's going to invigorate Sony to compete, to create games that gamers have been asking from them for years. If it be, old franchises that people have been requesting to come back, like your SOCOMs, like your Killzones, like your Resistance. You can go that route, or you can go with new IPs that, have innovative gameplay or just a new concept that Sony is inspired to do. That is what I do want to see. So it's like I may be coming off like, oh fuck Sony. I want Sony to be better and I want to take your games to PC. But honestly, it's crazy to think that for me personally, the most excited I am is for Square Enix. And Square Enix is arguably at their worst right now. They haven't been doing very well lately, but I will say Final Fantasy 16 is like that next gen game I'm truly looking forward to. When it comes to PlayStation, I haven't bought an exclusive, on PS5 shit in a really long time. I think Rift Apart, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was like the last Sony exclusive I bought day one on PS5. That's crazy. It's been a while since Rift Apart, man. I've been overall so bored and disappointed with PlayStation. It sucks. It sucks because they haven't felt the need to compete and they're desperately trying to cling to Call of Duty in the most pathetic fucking way, loser ass way possible, just because it's easy. PlayStation just wanted everything to be easy, so much so that it's like they don't even care about games anymore. Like this year, what have we heard from Sony? Nothing. All we have is leaks of possibly Spider-Man 2 coming out in September. But other than that, what has Sony been talking about? Nothing. Boring. They have more TV shows and movies slated than they have video games. And PlayStation is a video game company. I, as a gamer, I mean, look, I like film, even some TV. I like mostly anime though these days. But I don't go to PlayStation because I want TV shows and movies. I want video games. I want you to excite me for video games. And this generation, I've been the most bored and unexcited ever. And I blame Sony for a lot of that because I look forward to Sony's games. I think that their games are more boring than ever, but I do look forward to PlayStation because they do have quality releases. I think that goes a long way. Now, taking Call of Duty away from them, Xbox themselves, Microsoft themselves has said, we'll allow, Call of Duty to be on the PlayStation platform for the next 10 years. That should be more than enough time for PlayStation to, come up with their own alternative if they so choose to. And it's true. It's true, but Sony's running scared because they had it too easy and they don't know what it's like to struggle. They haven't struggled since the PS3 generation. I want to see PlayStation struggle. I want them to be, put up against the wall because that's when they seem to, put out their best work. I think that PlayStation dug themselves out of a massive hole PS3 generation did during PS3 generation. Digging themselves out of that scenario, it was a beautiful thing to see the conclusion of. I was an Xbox person back then, that generation particularly, but I ended up buying my own personal PS3 just to play stuff like The Last of Us, to go through their back catalog. I ended up collecting a lot of their older games because they made the PS3 truly viable. Because at the beginning of that generation, it wasn't. It was dog shit having a PS3 when PS3 first launched for those first few years. But it was beautiful to watch PlayStation really say, hey, we genuinely messed up and we're going to make it better. That's something Xbox didn't even do with Xbox One. They refused to acknowledge that they made some serious mistakes with Xbox. Everything was like, well, we're not going to admit to this failure. We're going to kind of, deviate from that admittal and move to something else. I don't know if admittal is even a word, but you guys know where I'm coming from with this. Xbox didn't even do that. PlayStation straight up said, we messed up with PS3 and we're going to make it better. And they did. Whether you want to concede to that or not, is up to you. But I can objectively say they did make it better. Now, PS5, man, Sony needs to step up, and taking easy things away, easy give me's away from PlayStation is what's going to make it happen. And when it comes to honestly, another reason I want to see this deal go through with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard is I just want to see these crackhead fanboys just sling bricks at each other. Just keep doing it. Stuff like watching JTech, fake mad about Redfall. The PS5 version of Redfall getting canned because, Microsoft acquired Bethesda. That's hilarious. Him being all upset and being like, well, Sony should take away Destiny 3 and Bungie's new IP. It's like, you're so pathetic, bro. It's like, that is not what a gamer says or does. You don't do stuff for that. You don't advocate for stuff like that as a gamer, man. This is so freaking lame. And it's like all these losers that have influence on, if it be Twitter, if it be, on YouTube or Twitch, whatever, man. These losers really just want to fight with each other more than they want to play good games. They don't want, they want other gamers to suffer so that they can feel better about themselves. That's what these fanboys like your JTech TVs and others in the community, that's what they want to do. They aren't truly happy playing their games. They want people that they don't agree with on another platform to feel like they're missing out on something. That's what truly makes these losers happy. And honestly, I want to watch them continue to fight, continue to hate each other, because at this point, it's just fun to make fun of. And I'm just going to do it. So, it is what it is. Watching you assholes act like complete total fools. And I'm just here on PC like, yo, I'm just going to play all your stuff anyway while you guys are arguing with each other. Whatever, man. I love it. I want the Activision Blizzard deal to go through all the more because I think it's time that, the crumb eating Xbox fanboys actually have something to, be excited about and like, that they need they need the garbage to sling at PlayStation fanboys. Because honestly, PlayStation fanboys have been dumping on Xbox dudes for a long time. Honestly, deservingly so. They stand Xbox One, and that was a failure of a generation as far as I'm concerned. You can try and pitch that any way you want to. Xbox One was honestly the most boring console ever. The most boring. Yeah, that just collected dust for me. Waste of money. I only bought an Xbox One because I wanted Rise of the Tomb Raider, which ended up just coming to PlayStation anyway. I just couldn't wait because I like the Tomb Raider reboot game. Was it 2012, 2013? Now, that's one of my favorite games of all time. So obviously I was going to do whatever I had to do to get the sequel, right? Little did I know. But yeah, guys, I think it's time for Xbox dudes to actually, have ammunition for a change. I want to see them actually, be able to throw real punches instead of, bringing pillows to a gunfight, because that's how it's been over the past few years with Xbox and PlayStation fanboys arguing with each other. Really, it's been pretty one-sided. So yeah, give Activision to Microsoft. Just let them have it, because I think it's going to make for better competition. Microsoft is going to be more confident. They're going to compete. They're going to have, their so-called, exclusives, at least, when it comes to PlayStation not getting their shit, because it happens both ways. It's whatever. If you want the everything box, you're going to have to convert to PC. That's really what it boils down to. That is the everything box. PlayStation dudes thought that the PS5 could be the everything box because Xbox was not competition at all. You guys are fucking wrong, and you look like clowns now because of it. You guys are the most privileged, fake privileged losers I have ever seen, man. You guys actually thought you were privileged enough that you weren't going to ever have competition from Xbox, and now you're pissing in your fucking pants because you actually are afraid. I love to see it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. Is this, Activision Blizzard deal, Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, do you think that that is going to actually create competition or, actually hinder competition? Let me know in the comments section down below. Are you tired of hearing about this ABK deal? Because honestly, I am. I don't really like talking about it. Avoid talking about it for the most part. But yeah, guys, if you can, like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member if you would like to join my growing Discord community. Follow me over on Twitch or Twitter if you want to continue the conversation. Also, I created a Kick. I'll start putting that in the description as well. I think Kick is about to drop an app today or whatever have you. I'm excited for that. I think Kick is potentially an amazing platform and creates competition for Twitch. I think competition is a great thing. I'm very consistent on that front. I want to support Kick because I think Twitch has become too stagnant. I think they're too fucking greedy. And I genuinely think they need some genuine competition. So yeah, if you into Kick, follow me over in Kick as well. If you want to continue the conversation, I'm gonna try to stream on there. It's mostly just BS streams, watching stuff like Ed and Eddie and Aqua Team Hunger Force. That's what I wanted to do, and I have fun doing it. So yeah, guys. With all that being said, I'm out. Peace.